Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Jason's back, and we're just going to talk about cons for a little bit because you went to one, and I am jealous because I haven't been to a con in a while since, like, I guess late fall. You know, New York
Wow.
Comic-Con.
Yeah. That's much more recent than the last con I went to, which was like 4 years ago. So
Was it the same con?
it was the same con 4 years ago. Yes.
Interesting. You know, the convention circuit is funny because, like, as a kid, I didn't even know they existed, and my parents kept it that way. Like, they did not want me knowing that they were like places I could go and congregate and meet other people like me. And so I was kept in the dark about that for a long time. But I remember being exposed to them more or less like through my interests. You know, like I remember hearing about Comic Cons and all the social connotations that associated with them back in the day. I remember, and I think I've said this experience before, but like my main focus was there were two. There was one, it was a Freakazoid episode in which a character that was made as a straw man to make fun of the audience called Fanboy lured Freakazoid to a Comic-Con. And it was the way I understand cons to have been for very specific shows like Star Trek conventions or Star Wars conventions, where it's like there's vendors and stuff, but it's all in kind of like one big auditorium, and there's a stage, and like the keynote person will be on the stage and like do Q&A and talk to people and pose for pictures and stuff. And in that episode was Mark Hamill, and it was just, you know, ridiculous. But the other convention was the one I made my grandma go to because she was like, I think there's a comic book thing happening, and if you want me to get you some comic books, I'll get them for you. So I wrote down a whole bunch of Spawns, and to her credit, she got them. And I want to believe that like they, you know, she was like an old Italian woman with like her cart in the middle of Brooklyn, and I want to believe that they gave her a good deal. She didn't put up a fight. She was not like, this was a really expensive venture for me.
Right.
But she did procure these books. I got coveted Spawn issues, including the first issue of Spawn. But
wow, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I didn't know anything about what was your convention experience like before your first Comic-Con? Because I think we've been to New York together over the years.
We've been to New York several times, mostly before I had children.
That'll do it.
It just gets hard. It just, especially New York, because it's such a huge thing, right? And like with small children, just I didn't have it in me.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah, no. So, you know, I think similarly, the only real conventions that were even in my sort of consciousness were like a Star Trek convention or something. I didn't really get, or like more like professionally focused conventions, like
like an auto show,
like an auto show, or like a computer show, like, you know, like Comdex, like I said, or something like that. And then like at some point, I think, New York Comic-Con did not happen for a long time, right?
Yes,
and then
it was.
New York Comic-Con came back.
Yes,
and
you
were like, "Holy shit, it's back! We're going!" And I'm like, "Sure, whatever." And I was like, "Wow, there's a lot of nerds here."
Yeah, and it was including ourselves. Great. We it was great. No, the first show I was there for the first New York Comic-Con when they returned in 2006, I want to say. And it was a nightmare. It was great, and it was a fantastic experience. I would recommend it if you have a time machine. But like otherwise, it was. I mean, based on my complete lack of experience with Comic-Cons, I was able to enjoy it a lot more than most of the regulars who were just like clamoring for a New York Comic-Con to return. They were just like, "Oh my God, we needed this!" And they get there, and it's so poorly handled, so poorly planned, and so poorly put together that it was a ruined show for many people. Me and friends and company not incled. We had an amazing time.
Yeah, we had no comparison.
There was no comparison.
There was no bar, right?
No, exactly. So it was great. So there was, you know, and then I'd gone pretty much. I think I've been to every one, no exception. And only recently, in the last like 4 or 5 years, have I been going to San Diego Comic-Con, which is like Mecca. And that's really, I think, where I'd heard about Comic-Cons. That's true. You know, I want to say another time that I saw a Comic-Con, but again, it postdates Freakazoid, and my grandma was in Mallrats. No, not Mallrats. Chasing Amy, where the opening of the movie is at like a Comic-Con.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's funny. I remember in the commentary, apparently because Kevin kind of like invited real comic book people to like populated, so that if you
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
them, you'd be like, oh my god. And I remember Kevin saying that like at least a couple of people in that show were like, this may be the best Comic-Con I've ever been to, and it's not real.
Aw. Aw.
Right? And now you see it, and it's very quaint, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, compared to, San
Right, yeah.
Diego, New York, or
Um,
Emerald City.
or Emerald City, yeah. 'Cause, yeah, I went to New York many times then up until about 2010 or so,
Uh-huh.
and it did get better over
Yes.
the years.
Yes.
Um, to the point where it became just a really great the bar against which I may measure a Comic-Con, for
That's
example.
fair. I like it.
I have
Dude,
yeah,
well, then don't go to San Diego because it'll just destroy your
I
expectations.
really wanna go to San Diego someday.
Well, I'll have to bring you because I go
Yeah.
now. Like I go as a business expense, and it's
Right.
and the last 2 years I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go anymore, and I always go.
Yeah. And that, being in Seattle, San Diego is really easy for me to get to.
Way easier
Way
than
easier
like you
than York.
traveling to New York
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
It's the time zone thing that really just makes it feel super hard. Anyway.
Fair.
So yeah, Emerald City Comic Con wraps today. It's probably over right now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is my second time going to Emerald City.
Yeah.
The first time had to be 4 years ago because it was the first one they had post pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was actually, I thought it was pretty good. There were still like some weird COVID restrictions in place, but it didn't detract from the experience at all.
No, sure.
It was smaller than New York, obviously.
Yeah.
But it
Still
was
a
fine.
Reed show, so it still has
still a
that
Reed
kind
show.
of cachet.
So actually, I wanted to ask about that because I was reading some complaints on Reddit about Emerald City Comic Con,
Uh-huh.
and the basic gist of the Seattle public is once Reed Pop took over ECCC, it started going downhill, and now it is a shell of its former self, and it's horrible, and you should never go.
Yeah, that's fair. Because Reed has gotten into the practice of buying conventions over the last 20 years or so, and that includes West Coast shows like PAX or PAX East or PAX West or PAX Aus or PAX South.
Right.
Like I'd go to more than two, and I used to go to PAX East and PAX West. Man, were they fun! Including PAX West being in the same convention center as the one, I believe, the Seattle Convention Center. But yeah, Reed bought it, and I've honestly never been since then. And that's not to say that it's because of what Reed did. It's more just coincidentally, I don't have anything to base it off of. But yeah, Reed buys shows, and the problem I think is that there is like a way they do it, and it used to be that the big ugly boogeyman in the con circuit was like Wizard World. There used to be local shows like at the Richmond Comic Con or whatever, but of course you have to remember, before the proliferation of nerd culture as a kind of ubiquitous thing that we all participate in, there were fewer Comic Cons. So it's San Diego Comic-Con, biggest Comic-Con, because all the nerds go to San Diego, California, 1 day a year, well, 4 days a year, but but one time, and then that's it. And then how could Tallahassee possibly support the staggering drawing power of a convention circuit? But sure enough, they started cropping up. And some of them are better than others, and some of them are worse than others, but you have to go to find out because, of course, again, so few people were sharing the information. But Wizard World, which, of course, yes, if you sounds familiar, it sounds like maybe that magazine that was back in the day that I loved so well. Yes, same company, same guys, but Wizard World would buy up these conventions, these smaller conventions, and then homogenize them. They'd be like, okay, it's imperceptible from the convention in Richmond to the convention in Utah to the convention in Arizona. They're all the same show. They have the same guests. They're always the same 6 wrestlers.
Right.
That seems so
local flair. That seems like local flair diminished, right?
Oh, it certainly was extinguished.
Which seems like such a shame, right? Because and the idea of buying a convention seems so bizarre to me.
I would never invest in that. It's not, does not seem like a money-making venture.
Right.
When you think to yourself, like, well, yeah, there hadn't been, this isn't like the invention of the television, where now that we have them, they're going to be everywhere. This is the invention. The convention existed before companies started buying them up. And
yeah,
of course, there's also the other, like, more sinister implication of, like, a large company buying up something that, like, people enjoy and make good, and as a result, you know, I'm comparing it to, like, private equity, and how it's like, you know, we pump a whole bunch of money into it, we take out all of the people who made it run well, and then we drain it for all it's worth, and then make it a husk of a company, called declare bankruptcy, repeat, and rinse.
That's right. Yeah. Great.
That's all to say, I don't think Reed is doing that.
No. I like, again, like, you can go and you can have a good time. You can meet really interesting people and have great interactions.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
End of the day, people make it fun.
Exactly. And like, so Emerald City is like, it's not like an important show, as in like nothing happens there. There's no like announcements. There's no premieres. There's no, but it's a big show. It's large in size because it's a regional show, right?
Well, especially for you. Yeah, exactly. Like, for Seattleites.
It's not only Seattle. It's the entire northwest corner of the country. So like Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and British Columbia from Canada. Yeah. Like that's the show. Seattle's the big city from, you know, for the entire northwest region.
Yeah. The big city that closes at 7:30 p.m.
Sorry, what was that?
The big city that closes at 7:30 p.m.
Yes, exactly.
But yes,
if you've never been to Seattle, that's literally not even a joke.
I love Seattle. I had a wonderful time. I've been there at least 3 times. Had a great time every time. But the first time, I'm like, all right, what's the nightlife like? They're like, oh, the nightlife is you go home.
Right, that's right.
Like that convention is over.
Can I get like a diner or something? No.
Yeah, I'm like, well, it's 9:30 and I'm hungry. They're like, well, then you're gonna have to wait until breakfast.
It is sadly true. Yeah.
But yeah,
there was a famous 24-hour diner in Seattle called Beth's, which I believe has just reopened.
Oh.
So it's apparently somewhat of an institution. Anyway, I've never been.
No, fair enough. But
because
the Double R.
I have been to the Double R diner. That's way the hell out in that cute little town that I really like. That's out there. God.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, now my brain's stuck on whatever. What was that?
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, on the Twin Peaks town.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like such an idiot. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter.
North Bend.
Thank you. God, North Bend. Yes, the Double R, which is all the way out in North Bend. Which,
but the Emerald City Comic Con is kind of like the mecca for anyone in the Pacific Northwest who wants to get their nerd on, so to speak.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. So you've been going, and I'm like, because while you've had the experience of going to New York Comic Con a bunch, you've always kind of, forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn, but it seems like you've kind of looked at it from an outsider's perspective. You know, you didn't have a panel or a business meeting or a creator you really needed to see, or
just whatever. An attendee. Just an attendee.
Yep, just a ticket to the zoo for you.
The closest I ever came to being kind of more on the inside was the last New York Comic Con I went to, where I met up with my cousin who was there, and they were doing a project with like Aaron Douglas from Battlestar Galactica and Yuri Lowenthal, who's like a big famous voice actor. Yeah. Philip Morris, who's like has done like character actor, done some Star Trek, done some the Mission Impossible. Anyway, and so I got to hang out with these people, and it was so much fun. And we went out to dinner all together, and Philip Morris is just sitting there like spinning these yarns and these tales about how, you know, he felt like an idiot when he like had dinner with Roger Moore one time, because he's like, how am I even in the same room with this man, right? And I'm just like, this is so funny. I'm like so enamored with this guy. I'm just like leaning in, right?
Yeah,
and
of course.
spill my water and just goes all over the man.
Yeah. How did he like that? Was he like, oh, watch yourself, pal?
It's so gracious, right? Just,
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
it doesn't
awesome.
matter. But that's the closest I ever kind of came to being on like the inside of the Comic-Con circuit,
contract, yeah.
right, of the contract. Like I do other shows with Vintage Computers, right, where I'm on the inside, right?
Oh yes, yes.
And I'm like one of the people.
Yeah.
If I'm not exhibiting, like when I show up, I go see all my friends who are exhibitors, and they're like, "Well, just come behind the curtain, man." I'm like,
yeah.
and
Nothing better.
so that's
than
actually
that, man.
kind of jarring sometimes to go from that experience to then, oh, I'm just here as an attendee.
Yes.
Right? You're
Oh
like,
yes.
oh, this is less fun.
It is less fun. I mean, not to like,
fun.
put too fine a point on it for those who just go for fun. I think it's worth it. I think it's definitely something that like is worth doing, whether you have a reason, business wise
Right.
to be there or not. But it is fun to be
Right.
behind the curtain.
And so my approach was actually a little bit different this time,
Okay.
having this in mind, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I really enjoy at Emerald City Thursday and Friday more than Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, sure. Well, that makes
And that
sense.
is because Thursday and Friday, there's a lot of like industry panels, right? Creators sitting there talking about their craft, talking about their experiences, and you can get up close and personal with people, not in like a weird way, right? But like you can have a conversation with someone who maybe you've heard about or whose work you admire in a panel setting, and some of these aren't very heavily, attended. So there'll be 20 or 30 people in the room, and everyone's always so willing to just like chat afterwards anyway. So I had a great time.
Yeah.
Doing that. And I made sure to speak every panel I went to, I made sure to seek out that person afterwards and have a conversation with them.
Interesting. And that was a thing you could do at every panel you chose, was like, I'm going to go up there, because sometimes when you see a panel, particularly the bigger ones, like the Hall H's as they are referred to in San Diego parlance,
right?
But when it comes to like those smaller attended shows,
Right.
I've been on those panels. That's the only panels I've ever been on, is the smaller attended ones, where when the show is over, like someone is like, all right, you got to get out of here because someone's coming, and then like you have to like hop off the stage. Like there's no like you don't go backstage, you just hop off, and then you just
leave
in the crowd,
the same door that everyone else just left.
Exactly. You have to wait in line with everyone who came to see you to leave. Yes, exactly.
Those are the types of panels I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the big main stage shows where like, because you're not going to get to go chat with David Tennant after his thing, right?
After his keynote. Exactly.
You need to go pay money to see him in the other hall.
Have I told you the time I met David Tennant at a convention?
No, but I hope to hear this now.
I'll tell you now, because that's the nature of the episode. But so yeah, I was at a Denver con. I don't remember. I think it was like the Denver Fan Expo is the name of it, or what they were calling it. And I was with Rob from Comics Explained, and Benny was doing something else, and so like I was hanging out with Rob, and Rob's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go meet David Tennant. So he wanders over to the David Tennant table, and there's like no line, and he's not there. And he's like, yeah, when is David Tennant gonna be there? And they're like, I don't know, like an hour. And he's like, all right, cool. So then he just starts the line. He just sits there. And I'm like, is this what we're doing? We're just going to stand in line, wait for David Tennant. He's like, yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to tell him he did a great job in that Jessica Jones show. That's it. He doesn't know him from Doctor Who. He doesn't know him from Broadchurch. He doesn't know him from anything. He knows him as the bad guy in the Jessica Jones show. And so he's like, yeah, I'm going to tell him he did a great job. So he just hangs, and I'm like, this is not my idea of a good time at any convention, is standing in a line. And I never do this. I used to do it when it was new and fresh, and the lines were almost non-existent because people didn't know what line to stand in. But at this point, when there's like a line out the door, I'm like, nope, not worth it for me. There better be a ride at the end of this line. So
blow my mind.
Exactly. But I'm hanging out with Rob, so I'm just like, and people are coming up into the line, and they're standing there, and then people are waiting in the line, and the line gets longer and longer and longer. And I realize, oh my God, I'm like number 2 in the longest line in the building, and people are crowding around Rob because they're seeing Rob or they're hearing him talk, and they're like, oh my God, it's Rob from Comics Explained. So they're all talking to Rob. Rob's holding court, and I'm just hanging back. And then David Tennant arrives, and he's just like, hello, laddies, let's get this started. Like, immediately he is so hyped and ready to go. He's like,
Yeah.
Let's do this. So Rob says like 2 words to him, and then he's gone. And now he's like, what can I do for you? And I'm like, I got nothing. And he's like, you got nothing for me to sign? And I'm like, no, that's it, man. I just wanted to say that you're an amazing actor. I love what you do. Keep it up. He's like, well, isn't that such a nice thing for you to say? Come here. And he gives me a handshake, and then he's like, all right, well, I hope you have a wonderful show. You know, he's just super, he's very magnanimous. And just, and I'm like, I got nothing for you. He's like, you waited in line for like an hour for me to. It's amazing. It's a beautiful experience,
so
and he's such a friendly guy. And it was just,
yeah.
and he had not, he didn't like go, give me your phone number. I will text you every Christmas. It was just like a very nice time, and
yeah, of course.
and I didn't feel like I was cheated, even though I did wait like an hour to not do anything but meet a guy,
Right.
So that was my David Tennant story. It's the only time I'll ever meet David Tennant, and it was like he was super accessible. By the way, it was like it was like a kissing booth. That's what his booth was set up like. And I don't mean to say that it was a kissing booth, though I do.
It's a little weird, Sal.
But no, but it looked like Lucy's therapy booth. Like it was just like thing, desk, and he like leans through the big window. It was weird.
That was amazing.
But yeah. That was like the highlight of that show, but yeah,
so
that's
fun.
So yeah, so you had a different approach this year, and your approach to Emerald City was basically was hit panels, learn, more of an edutainment kind of situation.
Exactly, and so, so the panels I went to, I can run through them if you like. I can tell you all the ones that impacted me in one way or another.
Absolutely.
Oh, I want to say one more thing about cons, though.
Okay.
One of the weird things, at least about, I don't know if New York and San Diego are this way. ECC is this way. Any other type of conference I've been to, like the first day at like 10 a.m., there's like an opening plenary session where like it kicks the show off, right?
Okay.
This is very, very common in professional shows for like, tech shows or, whatever else. We even kind of do that a little bit. Like the retro computing shows, there's like usually like one big kickoff thing.
Okay.
ECC doesn't do that. Does New York or San Diego do that? Have like a big kickoff section? No. Okay.
No. But Baltimore Comic-Con has something I've never seen before or since. Baltimore Comic-Con is just a Comic-Con in the Inner Harbor of Baltimore, Maryland.
Right.
It's a show that I enjoy, though they have it around either the week before or the week after New York Comic-Con. And I know why they do that. It's because bigger guests can go because they're already going to New York, and then they can just plan for 2 weeks instead of 1 week. Right. And they just travel. They just like, take a car or they take the train or whatever, and they zip down there. Or some of them are actually from like DC and stuff, and so they just go there anyway. Yeah. But the Baltimore show, which is not owned by anybody, that's another one where it's Reed hasn't bought it, Wizard World never got it. It's almost entirely, I think, self-owned, but it is, and it has all the pitfalls and the benefits associated with that kind of idea.
Sure.
But when and if you rope drop, to use like a Disney term, at Baltimore Comic-Con, at least up until like pre-COVID, but I think I experienced this the last time I was there. If you get there first, like if you are the first crowd, like if you're there and it opens, staffers, all the staffers that are available will create a line on either side of the entrance to the convention inside the building and clap for you.
Aw.
I was like, what is this? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, thank you. It was such a weird experience.
It's weird, but so quaint.
Really weird. And it's very them and it's their thing. And I think it's very cute, but also I can't ever get used to it. It's very uncomfortable.
Well, it's like one of those bits of local color, right, that you're talking about before, right?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's like, that's how you know.
Local tradition, and
that's the first thing that would be cut. If Reed or anyone bought it.
We're not paying you to sit there and applaud for these mokes. Come on.
You got work to do. You got like poop to pick up in the middle of a convention floor.
Oh my gosh.
This is, by the way, that's a real anecdote that happened at New York Comic-Con. Someone pooped on the floor. It was like, I don't remember what movie I'm referencing, but the one where it's like, it's a baby Ruth. It's like, oh no. Yeah, that was not last year, but it was too recently. And no one knows. Like, no one knows who it was.
No one knows. Yeah. Anyway. So the first thing I went to, I got there nice and early. and I was one of the first ones in the building.
Cool.
They opened the doors at 10.
Yeah.
And I got in right at 10, and there's no one there. There's no one there. It was great.
Okay, that's really nice.
Not really. Well, I messed up a little bit. It doesn't matter. This part doesn't matter. Never mind.
Okay.
I started off my sessions, the panels I was going to, with a thing called Writing for Comics and TV.
Okay, great.
And this had Jason Inman, Jeremy Hahn, and Amy Chu.
Right.
And Jason and Amy were just like super inspiring about like what you can accomplish as you're like an aspiring creative.
Mm-hmm.
And like throughout the session, kind of like started to distill out some of the differences between like how you would write for television versus how you write for comics.
Yeah, and Jason has both experiences.
Right,
Jason was intimate with DC for a long, long time.
Yeah.
He's his wife was actually an editor at I want to say Top Cow, and had a lot of
well, like and all three of the panelists have dabbled in both worlds, so it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Jason's big thing was like TV is constrained by budget all the time. It's like, so you can't blow up a planet every episode or even in any episode on broadcast TV, but in a comic, anything is game. Like, oh, that's really interesting. But then anyway, so this panel like led to some the follow-up conversations I then had, right? I talked to, apparently Jason is also a huge Deep Space Nine fan.
Yes, he is.
I'm like, well, I know how to talk about Star Trek.
let me tell you a thing about the things I could tell you about Star Trek.
No, there was like this one question towards the end where this guy in the back is like, could you tell me the difference? I don't want to put on like a stupid nerd voice. I'm so sorry.
No,
this is a
legit
legit question.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm going to save my stupid nerd
really
voice.
Bad question. Yeah.
Right. No, it wasn't a bad question.
Yeah.
He was like, could you talk about the difference between like writing a plot-driven story versus a character-driven story? And I'm like shaking my seat. I'm like, it's all character. It doesn't matter if it's not a character-driven story, right?
Yeah.
And sure enough, these professionals at the front of the room were like, yeah, that's a false dichotomy. It's got to be character, or it doesn't matter. You won't care.
And you're like, whew, good. They took care of it for me.
Anyway, so I followed up with Jason afterwards, had a little conversation about that, about like, and I was like, that's what they figured out for Star Trek in like season 2 of TNG, right? When they flipped and started doing very character centric plots, and the ratings took off and then maintained high through. They kept that same thing going through DS9 Voyager, and yada yada yada. Anyway, it was great. It was a fun little conversation I had with them.
You texted me while you were there, like either you were still during the like you were at that panel, and you texted me and you were like, Jason Inman's here, and I'm like, Jason Inman. And this is the portion where we're going to talk about Jason Inman for a second, because Inman is so great. He's a friend of the show. He used to do a Comic-Con or a comic channel years ago called Jowin, and we'd worked together a number of times. He's actually been to my house. We did a back issues together, and then I got him lost on the wrong train going home. And that was a mistake, and he still hasn't forgotten it. But he's a great guy, very nice, and every time, and it's rarer now than it ever has been because he's busy. He's actually like a television writer now, but he is so good at what he does, and whenever that is that he does it. And he was also in the National Guard, so I would have been very comfortable serving with him because of how like capable he is in every other aspect of his life. Like this dude really knows what he does, and like when I've had him on as like a podcast, this dude, like I've been doing this for 12 years, and this guy just blows me out of the water every time. I'm just like, the last time I had him on, the very last time, I was gobsmacked because I was just like, this guy, he hasn't podcasted in like a while, and he still got it, and he got it in a way that is so professional and so like that's what you pay for. Like when you need a person to like MC an event or talk about whatever or promote something or just be the host of anything, that guy can do it, and he can do it with like aplomb and humility, and he's just so good at what he does. And I was like, oh man, this guy should charge, and he probably does. But he's so great at what he does. So like, when you said Jason, I was like, oh, tell him you know me.
Right. And I did afterwards. I was like, oh, hey. He was like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, Jason. We're like, hey, yeah, I'm Jason too. I'm like, yeah, all right, we got a connection.
Yeah, you can.
And I was like, hey, do you know? Go ahead.
Oh, you could also have told him, you've gotten text messages meant for me, because we're like friends and I've had him in my phone, and occasionally I've accidentally sent Jason you texts to Jason Inman.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, hey, do you know Sal Crivelli over at ComicPop? I was like, yeah, I know Sal. I'm like, oh, yeah, Sal's a really good friend of mine. So we talked about that. He's like, oh, do you live here? I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so a little
Yeah.
like history of like me. He's like, feeling me. I was just some like con weirdo, or is this someone who actually knows Sal?
Yes.
Right? Which is totally fair, right? Because
that's fair. Yeah.
people can be weird, right?
Right. Yeah, totally.
Like, oh, do you know this guy? I saw him once on a panel 5 years ago. Right.
Yeah, Jason's like, what? You're like,
no,
no,
I actually
know.
He
told me to tell you to said
right.
hello.
No, and that's what I said. I was like, oh yeah, I was texting Sal. I'm like, oh, I'm in a panel with Jason. And he goes, go tell me you say hi.
Yeah.
Or I say hi or whatever.
Right.
Anyway, so
go bother him.
Yeah. So I did, and it was great. And I'm glad I did. And then, of course, because, I get nervous talking to people sometimes, I didn't have a whole lot to say. So then I left. And then, like, at night, I was just kind of like going over and I'm like, oh, man, I should have, like, talked about these 7 things with him.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I should have brought up Star Trek with him.
Right. And so I was like, all right, well, if I run into him again. And I didn't. So, but maybe someday. Who knows?
Yeah, no. I mean, his wife is actually the like duly appointed representative of Reed Pop through the like convention circuit on panels and podcasts. So
yeah. And
you
so
will see if you go to Reed shows, you may invariably find at least Ashley Victoria Robinson, if not Jason Inman.
Right. So Ashley was I saw her host a couple of things, and she is a great host.
Yes.
She just keeps things like moving with just like a gentle touch and a lot of humor and a lot of warmth, like a really, really good panel host. Like I enjoyed observing her do her thing. That was cool too. Yeah. All right. So the other follow-up conversation. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, did you learn anything you didn't already know from that panel? And if not, was there other applicability to your, pursuits and desires?
Yeah, right. So I'm glad you asked this question. So I ended up having a follow-up conversation with Amy Chu.
Yes.
And I was like, because as we were talking, I'm like forming a thesis in my head, right? And like afterwards, I'm like, okay, so it seems to me that writing for like TV or a screenplay and writing for comics, there's a lot of similarities where it's different. It's like comics are like a more distilled version, right? And she's like, yes, that's absolutely right. I'm like, okay.
All right.
I said, because you're moving from like these impactful images to right? You're telling a story in a single frame, much like with like in the photography work I do. It's like, oh, if you know how to do photography, like you're already like you're way
there.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah. No, she's right. That's true.
Yeah. No. So the part that unlocked for me was, okay, so I wrote a thing a while ago and I shared it with you.
Yep.
And you said, man, we should turn this into a comic book pitch.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, I don't fucking know how to do
that. No.
But now I'm like, oh, maybe I am starting to get an idea of how to start that and how to maybe translate this like 60-page screenplay into something that's more distilled and digestible.
Right. Exactly.
Neat.
Yeah, I think
not that story is necessarily marketable, but
what is, it's impossible to tell.
This is the other thing. Oh, this is one of the things that Jason said as well. I forgot about this until just this moment, which helps me feel like I'm on the right track as a creator, which is, he was like, go for the thing that makes you feel a way, right? So like, so he was talking about how Deep Space Nine gives him everything he wants in a show, right? And it gives him a certain feeling, and like chase, as you're writing, like chase the thing that gives you that feeling, right? Write to reinvoke that feeling, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's what I do, right? I'm like writing thing, I'm like, oh, I really want to see this or that, or like, okay, here's the movie I want to see that no one else is going to fucking make. So I'm going to
Exactly.
write this thing, and maybe it'll suck. Who knows? But I'm really enjoying the process.
Yeah, no, that's
What
absolutely
do they
right.
look
That's
like, right?
that is 100% like the approach every time.
Yeah.
Is like it's the thing that's like the most freeing and also the most true,
Mhm.
as opposed to any other approach I found to creating for like a movie, TV show, or comic book, which is
Mhm.
like take something that no one else is, that only you've wanted to see.
Right.
Like
Right.
no one else is going to do it for you. No one's going to live their dreams for you. No one's going to make the movie or show or comic book that you've always wanted to see necessarily,
Right.
or
Right.
at least not to your own particular specifications. So, you
Right.
know, there's every reason and incentive to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So
And it'll
that
help
was
you to get tripped up, because you do get tripped up like on
sure.
details. And it's just like, just what do you think? What do you want to see next? Like,
Right. Yeah. But no, all this was like very gratifying and affirming for the way I've been trying to approach this in a new way over the last 6 months or so. Right.
yeah,
So
that's awesome.
really awesome. Yeah.
So, okay.
So,
All right. So we're on to a great start at this
yeah.
show. Now, how would
Totally.
this compare to your previous Emerald City Comic Con experiences? Very different. Why is this approach different from the last approach? Like, what
Okay.
was the
So
last one? Just kind of like aimless? Just like, I don't know.
the last one was very aimless, and you were supposed to be at the last one.
Yeah, that's true.
And the airline like screwed you over and canceled your plane ticket at the last minute, and
Yep.
there was just no way for you to get here.
Yes.
And I was sort of reeling from that because I didn't have a real plan other than
we were just gonna hang out.
I'm gonna hang out with Sal for the week.
Yep, I was just gonna bring you with me to do whatever I was gonna do. I'd already planned that. That was
And it was
that
going to
was
be
an absolute
great.
comic
Yeah.
plan. Yeah,
So instead, like it was a little aimless for me, right?
that's fair.
On a
Yeah.
couple of days. But I also brought the kids last time, and so there was plenty of stuff to do with them, which was
Oh
fun.
yeah.
So like I had a lot of good experiences last time, but it was, sadly, it was just sort of all there was this undercurrent of like, oh, I miss Sal.
Yeah. This is not what I was going to do this weekend. This is completely
Right,
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right,
so
so yeah, now that you're prepared for the idea of me never going to a convention near you,
Right.
you can really tailor the experience to your own specifications, like we were talking about with creation. No,
that's right. Yeah.
no, but I'm glad that that this has been that pursuit. What's the next thing you did / panel?
Okay, so the next thing I did was I attended a thing called Taking Your Idea from Concept to Creation.
Love it.
And this was run by Sebastian Jones from Stranger Comics.
Okay.
He's the creator of The Untamed and Niobe.
Okay.
Yeah. He is super passionate about storytelling and staying true to your dreams. And it was a very inspirational talk.
Yeah.
I don't know that I really learned anything there other than just, reinforcement on the like just keep going. Because if you don't, then you'll be stuck in your day job forever. Like you need to honor your dreams was like the big thing. Like, oh, what a great little capsule of like, you need to honor your dreams or you'll be stuck in your day job forever. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's like, well, yeah, that's where I've been for 15 years. So cool. Right. Let's go.
Feels vaguely threatening. I'll take it.
Also had a little bit of a follow-up with him post panel.
Okay.
Where he invited everyone who was at the panel to come back to his booth for a little poetry contest, and then you get a little prize.
Oh, that's fun. Did you participate?
I did, yeah.
Wow, that's
in a
great.
Poetry contest, and I got here. I've got the oh shit, where is it? Oh, I got my free gift here. Had my free gift here. All right, well, I don't know what it was. Oh, you know what it was? It was a. I bought the book too. It was a poster of the cover of The Untamed.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I'm like, oh, cool. And then I also bought the book because he pitched it really well in the session. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get this book.
Yeah. That's so funny. That never works on me. Maybe it's because I've done it and I know exactly what the pitches are, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I can't buy your book. I also very much I'm I have to read so much already.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And like I am not a big comic book reader, as
It's true.
you may know.
Yeah.
And I kind of well, in this case, I'm like, look, I am giving money directly to artists for their product. So this feels good to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Um now whether this book, like, follows through on the promise of the pitch kind of
Yeah.
remains to be seen.
Yeah.
I got through the first issue in the trade here, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
not sure
Not sure
it's like
it's
it's
matching the enthusiasm.
right. Well, it's just it's like it's a really compelling idea. Uh the pitch is there's this guy who died, and he's like in purgatory, and the devil comes and makes a deal with him and gives him like 7 days back on Earth to like um avenge his family or whatever.
Right.
Um and then it's that process, so it's like 7 issues,
Each
day
one
one,
he
day
has to
two,
get
day
through.
three. Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
like, that sounds really cool. And I read the first issue, I'm like, I don't understand
Mm,
that that's what this book is about.
gotcha. You know, that
And
is
that's hard. And I've read a number of books that are like that, where you're like, oh well, here's what the book is about. But like the first half of the book, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
that is such a like
It's
it's such a classic issue with
mhm,
comics that it needs to be brought up in every and any conversation that I've had with any like comic creators. I have a show called All Stars with the writer Joshua Williamson, big
mhm,
time creator. He, also consultant with DC Comics, and he's written a billion things and has so much information to share. And we've talked at length on that show about like how best to like pitch your idea and get your idea going. And also he consults on books. Like he will read the first issues of books that are coming out from DC
mhm,
and give them, pointers, ideas, suggestions, alterations, etc. Just because that's the nature of his job. And he's a writer in his own right. And it's like, it's just like, get to the point. Like
right.
you need to get to the point. And it's like, not to say do the thing that like was very popular after Pulp Fiction came out, where it's
Mhm.
like, get to the action and then flash back to the boring parts. No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
Like
Yeah.
just like stop saving all this stuff for later. Like get
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
and then see what comes next. Now, the what comes next is also the big thing that happens. As a quick
Right.
aside, I'll mention that like in the pitches, like when it comes
Mhm.
to Josh, and my own pitches as a result of this like consultation, it's like there's like a kind of format that we follow, and it will have like the concept and then the twist.
Mhm.
Like have that built in, this idea of like here's the story, right? And it's like
Right.
one paragraph, and then the thing that happens that makes it the thing that makes it different from the thing you think is going to happen. And
Sure.
it doesn't have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be like an Ocean's 11 twist, or it doesn't have to
Right,
be a
right.
crazy like rug pull, but it needs to be like, okay, I see where this is heading, and then it's like, but it's not the thing you think it's going to be, and then
Right.
you get into the explanation, the appeal. What's the appeal of the story? And
Right. Right.
if you're doing it right, your pitch should look kind of like a pyramid, where it's like smaller and gets bigger and bigger as you
Yeah,
get,
yeah, yeah.
because the person that's reading it is an editor, and that editor is trying to, it's like, get to the point. I need to understand immediately. I don't have time. I'm
Mhm.
reading 12 of these.
Right, right.
And so it's like, but if you do your job right, you'll catch them with the short, oh, it's only a paragraph, or it's only like 3 sentences.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Read that. And then if it's good, or it's engaging enough, then
Mhm.
I've got them. Then I'll read another sentence or two, and then another. And then by the time they get to the end, it's like, well, now they've read the whole fucking thing and they're already greenlighting it. Like
Right,
that.
right, right. Yeah, yeah.
There is a math to it in its own
Mhm.
way. And,
Sure.
yeah, when it comes to like, that is the pitfall in its own right of self-publishing or like independent
Yeah.
publication, which is like, I got this idea, it's the thing I've always wanted to see. We were just advocating that concept of like, I need to get the story I've
Yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
wanted to see on paper. That's not the same thing as tell the story you've always wanted to see. You have to
Right.
also
Yeah.
be like realistic. And I did a whole show with Dan Larson over at Secret Galaxy about like failed ideas or
Mhm.
concepts that like you get married to, and you're just like, I'm
Yeah.
still selling this idea 20 years later, and
Yeah.
I'm not like
That
100 issues in, I'm one, you know?
yeah, that was such a great show, like, you should
Thank you.
drop the link for people to go check that one
I
out,
will.
'cause
I'll put it in the comments.
that was so just informative and
Yeah.
such a great discussion you guys had. That was so
Oh my
good.
god. Well, and I wish I'd seen it when you and I were like writing scripts together, and when I was
Right.
pitching you these ideas. I mean, like the whole episode is about that one idea that I had in college that I was pitching to
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
And but like I have footage from us being kids back in the day of us going over like a screenplay for a movie that I'd been writing for 5 years, and it's like, dude,
Do you really? You have footage
chuck
of that?
that. Like, yeah, oh yeah. It's us going over the script together, and then you're like, turn this off. Uh, it was, and it's like,
Yeah.
get the idea out and then do it. Now,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. I mean, that was okay, so just going back to that previous panel,
yeah,
that was one of the other things that came up was just like, um, have your idea and do the thing, but like you need to open yourself up to collaboration because like you're not going to always have the best idea,
yeah.
right? Like be open to ideas and open to changes and who was it that said it was like you're not ready to shoot until you've had 5 rewrites or something like that. Like wow, that's intense.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Yeah, that's
wow.
that's a lot of work.
5 rewrites? I don't know. And the thing is, and that's the other thing that I think, since we're talking about creativity and expressing
Mhm.
yourself and making your own content, it's that there's not going to be one system. And it's not like there's one catch. And that's what a lot of people think or are
Mhm.
asking about, where they want
Mhm.
the golden rule or the like
Right.
one trick, and that goes to everything, whether it's writing your own comic book, making a movie, making a YouTube channel. People are like,
Mhm.
what am I doing wrong, or what do I need to do? And they get their eyes glaze over when you start talking about like any of the nuance or any of the specifics, because they want to hear, if you put this word in your tags,
Right.
then you
Done.
will be
Right.
successful. Like, oh, thank you. I just needed to know which thing to
Right.
check that gets me my success
Yeah,
and it's
that
like,
is
dude,
it's not it.
that ain't it.
That doesn't exist.
Right? But like even the 5
And
rewrites, it's like he needed 5 rewrites. But like you might need 2, 1. You might need
right.
the great idea, and then let's say it's a comic book, right? And you're not an artist. You pitch this idea to your artist, you connect with a
Mhm.
collaborator, because it's like, for me it's grown exponentially when I've
Yeah.
done different like self-published works with different creators and collaborators. From I hired an artist to draw the thing that I wrote, to I've hired an artist to work with me on this thing that I have an idea for, to I found a collaborator and the two of us are hashing out concepts,
Yeah.
during the script phase. It's so
Yeah.
important to also, if you have the opportunity,
Mhm.
you talk to the collaborator and say, what do you want to draw? What do you want to see?
Okay,
What makes you excited about
literally direct quote from Amy Chu on Thursday.
that? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, she
Right?
said she created such an amazing collaboration
Yeah.
when she was working on whatever book, and like the first thing she asked the artist was like, "What what what is it that you've always wanted to draw here?"
Yeah.
And she said from that point, just like it was just such an incredible collaboration.
Yeah, because then they're excited to do it too, and they don't want to see it
Exactly.
fail, and they want to give it their all. It's interesting.
Right.
There's a creator,
Well,
Tom
'cause
King. He worked with Belen Ortega
Mhm.
on this spin-off book about Wonder Woman's daughter, and he's like, "What do you want to draw? What do you always want to draw?" And she's like, "Corgis." So he came up with this half-baked concept of like, okay, every year she's gonna have corgis. So Superman's son and Batman's son turn into corgis, and they start multiversally traveling, and so Wonder Woman's daughter and the other 3 versions of her, or the other 2 versions of her from different time periods, go through the
Mhm.
multiverse to grab, or time really, to grab
Right.
these corgis, and it's called Crisis on Infinite Corgis. And
Mhm.
it's like, but she draws the hell out of that series, and
Right.
it's
Do
beautiful and fun and cute.
does it work as a story?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
I
fun.
was
It does work.
it does. No. Like I was listening to this thing a while or reading a thing or whatever where they're talking about like um concept is secondary to execution.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
you can have kind of like the dumbest concept in the world, but if it's well executed, like, it'll
Right.
succeed.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I think that kind of gets into that editing phase and the collaboration phase, and when you finally present this to the world,
Yeah.
right? Like, has it been through sort of the annealing process, right? Through different collaborations and different editors, and someone just looking you in the eye saying like, page 7 doesn't make sense, man.
Yes.
Or just like, I don't understand, where's the missing 3 pages between page 1 and 5?
Uh-huh.
Because I cannot make the logical leap to bridge this gap.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's really hard, because as you and I are writing our thing, right, it's like you have it all in your head, right? And so it makes sense to you because you have all this universal context of the thing you've created in your head.
Yeah, of course. How could you even ask me that? Don't you know? What? I've been thinking about it for 6 years. Like how could I know that?
Right. So
yeah.
Which maybe then segues into the next panel.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
Which was how to kickstart your own indie books with Kickstarter.
Well, yeah. That is so important and such a fundamental element to the comic book industry that like just didn't exist for the first 99% of the industry.
Right.
And now suddenly is super important. I will also argue against it, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, tell me about like how where did that come from? What was that? Who was on that panel?
Okay, so that was just one person. It was an author, Amy Wolf, who does a lot of fantasy. Yes. And this new term I've heard about, romantasy.
Yeah. Oh boy, romantasy is such a.
It sounds like maybe a hot button topic.
Oh, it's an expansive, lucrative, and it arguably kicked off by Twilight. I know that's a very controversial way to put it, but it's like the idea of it being like it's like deep fantasy and smut.
Right. Yeah.
Like
right.
Like don't skip the sex scenes. Arguably, it's not quite Game of Thrones, because I don't know if that's like romantic, but it's really like it's the same crap. Look, what was the classic example of every like mom in suburbia reading like a magazine, like one of these little like paperback novellas with like a Fabio on like the open seas. Right. He's a pirate and he just ravishes this young, beautiful woman from, a torrid, affair with some other idiot. And it's just like, just replace it with vampires or elves.
Yeah.
And you've got it. But just get deep lore too, so you could like maybe so you could really scratch that nerdy itch as well. It's like you got 2 for the price of 1. But yes, romantasy.
So very anyway, so Amy Wolf, who has had a long career in Hollywood and then transitioned to writing novels, and is now just a novel writer, and is now sounds like she's only doing self-publishing through Kickstarting. She has a following and she has successful Kickstarts, and she had some interesting tips on how to do this. Mostly what I learned, though, is that I have no interest in doing this.
Like the Kickstarter element or the romantasy part?
The Kickstarter element. I'm like, oh God, this sounds like such a pain in the ass.
It is a massive pain in the ass. It is not only frustrating and hard, but it also isn't like a guarantee, because you never know. Like a frequent collaborator of mine, DJ Wilderidge, every book that he's made over the last 5 years or more has been a Kickstarter book. And the other thing is like the Kickstarter element, like there's so many weird tricks and pitfalls and concepts that like you don't know, or you wouldn't even think of if you didn't take a seminar or learn deep lore about. I will also say Jason Inman is an expert at Kickstarter.
Really? Okay.
Knows exactly how to work it, is amazing at it. So is DJ at this point as well. But there's elements like, for example, you are going to pay for whatever you're making. The Kickstart, because you got to get funding.
Right.
If you don't reach the goal, you don't get the money.
Right.
But you're not trying to fulfill the cost of the project with the Kickstarter. You're trying to gain momentum and attract people to your
Mm,
project
right.
by having like a realistic and lower goal that you would
Right.
lose money on your project by reaching,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
because of its reaching a funding, and then like let's say it double funds, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's how you actually make,
Yep.
and not make money, just gain the funds necessary, the capital
Right.
to make this thing. It's like
Right.
it's so duplicitous and odd, and I'm like, because I
Right.
remember
Yeah.
I kickstarted one of my first books as well, and
Hmm.
it was at the early infancy of Kickstarter, where it's like I just
Right.
need the money to make the book, and I
Right.
crunched the numbers, and I'm like, this is the number, and we barely made it, and then the artist took the money and ran. But like afterwards, I got another amount of money from working hard, and I made the same book but with a real collaborator instead of a
Mhm.
thief. And I'll let you know who it is in the comments down below, folks. But because
Right.
he's still
The,
working.
the the thief or the collaborator?
The collaborator that I had was Victor
Right.
Bogdanovic, who works for Spawn and a number of other
Okay.
projects.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
constant. He's drawn Batman. He's
Mhm.
almost every single collaborator I've ever had, regardless of project, has gotten a fine career in comics. The
Yeah.
only one who's missing is me.
Is you?
But I'm happy to help springboard any
Sure.
hungry
Sure. Sure.
artists. But yeah, no,
Um.
yeah, but Kickstarter is
Yeah.
crazy and weird and
But
hard.
anyway, so that's interesting. That's exactly what Amy Wolf was saying as well. That
Really?
you set things lower and you get the thing. And what she said was interesting. Was like she's like, I don't start the Kickstarter campaign until the book is ready to go.
I like that. That's not the norm, but it
It's
should
not the
be.
norm,
That's
right?
so helpful.
And it kind of makes sense, right? Because if you think about it, like she's at a position where she has enough of following and enough of a lengthy career and whatnot that she knows how to put a book together,
Uh-huh.
right? And she can, I guess, she takes the loan from herself to front the cost of the book, and then tries to make that up on the back end with the Kickstarter. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I mean, that if you can do that, I think that could be a great way to do it.
Yeah, if you can do that.
If you can, but no
Right?
interest.
No, I don't blame you.
But again, like falling into that self-publish, I think there's okay, you said you wanted to talk about like maybe that's a good thing and a bad thing for the industry,
Yeah.
the self-publishing. And I think where it's bad is you lose like an impartial editor who's just trying to make something that's marketable.
Uh-huh.
Right. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's great in every case, because a lot of if you get someone who doesn't get it right, they're going to cut important stuff or just change the story fundamentally, and that's not great either. But having no gate there, right, to be like, whoa, have you
Thought about
right,
this? Have
have
you
you thought about this at all?
have you
I
stress
also
tested this
think that's
concept?
bad. Right.
Yeah, no, it is.
And like it leads to things that I think could be amazing, just kind of falling flat, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's there is an entire cottage industry of Kickstarter books. There is a deep, dark underbelly of that as well, which I won't get into, not here anyway. But there's also, just there are a lot of comic books are now intertwined with Kickstarter. Kickstarter is like in bed with comics. That's just the nature of the beast. But it is not a one-to-one, and it's not a guarantee of any kind. It's not like if you make a book through Kickstarter, it's more likely that the book will be published or picked up or anything like that. In practicality, few books through Kickstarter are actually published by another publisher because they want it to be made by them, and they would like to have had some kind of say. It's not like, and this is an example we used in a previous episode of like No Comic Required, where it's like George Lucas made multiple seasons of a show and then was like, okay, whatever, okay, NBC, do you want this? No? Okay, fine. I'll take it someplace else and just sell it. As is, no cuts. Like you can't make a book through Kickstarter and then go to like IDW and go, here it is, take it or leave it. They're going to leave it.
Right.
They're like, okay, who edited this? Who, like, maybe the art's great, but the writing isn't good, or the letterer isn't good, or the color isn't good, or it's not done, or any other number of factors. It's just like, it's not the way you do it. It's certainly not the way, and I think some people get tripped up in the details. I think Kickstarter is a great opportunity for people to realistically make the book they've always wanted to see. But arguably, when you scratch the surface of that itch, They don't necessarily just want to have the thing they've always wanted to see and then end it. They want to get into the industry. And
Right.
there is a fallacy / rule in the comic book world, which is if you want to get in, you need to make a book.
Right.
You have to prove you can do it. And you also need to prove
Right.
that you understand pretty much every element of the industry. So we
Mhm.
don't bring in some greenhorn who has no idea how this works. And then they're like,
Right.
given an opportunity and they're in over their head and they have no idea how anything,
Right.
functions. But the flip side of that is we're also not going to publish that book.
Right.
So basically what we're saying is we'd like you to spend $25,000 to make something that we're never going to really look at.
Right.
Like
just it's a $25,000 resume, right?
yes.
Right.
Which and I don't even know if that's necessarily even true, because there's also the other baggage of comic book Kickstarters, which is not too dissimilar from the baggage of comic book YouTubers. Like there are some AAA comic book creators out there who will not talk to like me or people of my
Right.
ilk because of bad apples in the YouTube scene,
Right.
who are just like, oh, I've heard of you and I don't watch comic book YouTube. And I know there are like really bad folk out there who do like really disingenuous content. So I just avoid it. And it's
Right.
like, oh, you made a comic on Kickstarter? I probably don't even want to look at it. Like
Right.
that's not the entire case. And I know there's going to be people in the comments who are like, but I have an example. What you have is called in the part an outlier.
Right.
It's not the norm. Your example is anecdotal at best. So's mine, but I have more anecdotes than you. So
Right.
that's where we are.
Well, that kind of goes back to the idea of people looking for like the formula,
quick fix or the formula,
the quick fix or the formula, and then I actually have started getting annoyed with people who are like, "Here's how I did it, and here's the advice I will give to you."
Yeah.
When it's like very specific advice, right? Where it's like, or, oh, if I could go back 5 years and give myself some advice, I would say you do this instead. And I think that is 100% invalid in almost every situation.
100%. It's invalid for themselves. Like,
right. Because it's like you got to where you are because of the journey you were on and the mistakes that you made along the way. Because you can hear something 1,000 times, but until you experience it and internalize that lesson, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's right. It just isn't going to matter. It's not going to have the impact.
No, it's so true.
So anyway.
Yeah. So you had it. So, but you were also exposed to the world of Kickstarter and Kickstarter comics to some extent. But I understand. It's funny when we were alluding to the idea that Jason and I kind of like made a movie one time, and we did. And if Kickstarter existed, we would have at least had like some other resources. But like but it still would never have gotten us to a position of like getting it picked up or anything like that.
Yeah,
it just would have helped make things a little easier, but also would have added more steps and other things like rewards and stretch goals and all kinds of other crazy stuff.
Right. Yeah. Oh
well.
So yeah, I mean that's
is that all the panels you saw?
Those were all the panels I was able to go to. I will reference another panel a little bit later on.
Great.
Because I'm still in the good part of the con.
Of ECCC.
I've got 3 parts of my report here.
Yeah. Well, so part 1, the good. Yes.
The good. And I'm not done with the good yet, because there were a couple of encounters I had not going to like formal panels. The best one was I was just like wandering through Artist Alley, and and this guy's display caught my attention, and it was this guy named Jared Sams who did a book called Space Negro, The Last Black Man in the Universe.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. Number one, this guy is hilarious. He's just like this really just funny guy to talk to. And his book is very silly. I stopped by several times just to BS with him. And then ended up buying a couple of his books, and I got through the first issue, and it's a little bit all over the place, but it's a ride, and I definitely laughed out loud at a couple points. I'm like, okay, it's not for children.
Fair warning.
Fair
Yeah.
warning, it's not for children.
Gotcha.
But we've got the first one right here. I got to
Nice.
get the thing. Space Negro. He signed it with a, and he told me on the back. He personalized it on the back where he says,
Yeah.
"Jason, stay black or die."
You're like, that's gonna be hard for me.
I'm like, cool, man.
Thanks.
Anyway, so that was really fun. That was super
Yeah.
fun. The next thing, it was another vendor station I hit called Design Press Studios. Sorry, no, that's not Design Studio Press.
Oh, okay.
And they do like a lot of art books, like how to draw stuff. And these books are some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Really?
I bought one.
Oh, wow.
On like environments, like drawing environments. And you just like, even I'm not a great drawing person, but even just flipping through the books, I was just like, these are jaw-droppingly gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this book. And then they also did a reprinting of Sid Mead's Design Studio collection.
Cool.
Are you familiar with Sid Mead?
Yes.
Yes. Somehow his name had escaped me up until this point in my life.
Yeah.
When I was like, wait, oh my God. Anyway, so I bought so just evocative and inspiring and beautiful.
Oh, I know. No, I have the movie art of Sid Mead.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, just for those who don't know, Sid Mead did like concept production art for Blade Runner, Tron, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, Short Circuit, Aliens, Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, the list goes on and on. I have the book literally like 8 feet from me right now. It's yeah.
And that's just his movie work, right? He did all sorts of industrial design work for like GM and Ford and Minolta and that's
awesome.
Yeah. So I am super excited to get those in the mail.
Yeah.
So the guy I was talking to from I've forgotten the name already. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh yes, Studio Press.
Studio Press. That's right. Press is the last word. Vincent. They're based out of LA, and he's like, I don't want to ship 1,000 pounds of books to Seattle and back.
Yes.
That's fair. He goes, so I take your thing, and then free shipping. We'll just ship it to you, and then you don't have to carry it around the con. I'm like,
I love that.
Excellent. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping to get those this week. And then I ran into a friend of mine who was there, who I expected to be there, who is just he's a giant nerd and also a priest. And oh my God,
Father Nerd.
Yes, Father Nerd. And he was there like in his collar and everything, right? Like dressed as the priest. I'm like, okay, man. Like he's not there as he's there as a nerd, right? But
he's not there as a holy man.
Right. But he is kind of, because he goes, oh, when people come up to talk to me about like the thing, then I have the Saint trading card that I'm like, that's really cute, man. Good job.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. That was the fun part.
Okay.
Now we can talk about the bad part.
Yeah. Now, of course, there will be, folks. If you go to your Comic Cons, there's going to be some negative stuff. Just, you know, crowds, lines, people sneezing in your face.
Yeah.
You know, there's
And so some of the bad, we lost 2 big names that were going to show in the last couple of weeks. Carrie Elwes and David Tennant. Both couldn't make it at like the last minute.
Yeah.
Now, ECC is a large show, but as we discussed, it's not like a capital B big show.
Right.
So that's
like they were replaced by a couple of other huge names. It was just they were gone, and now
they were gone. And I think that was like a significant, like, oh wow, that's 66% of the people that I really wanted to see. That's rough.
That's not insignificant. Yeah.
Yeah. Like shoot. So yeah, it was just a huge blow losing those names, I think. And then again, this is just like dumb stuff that happens, right? Like I was going to go to a panel with Jeff Loeb.
Oh yes.
Going to be, and he had like some kind of emergency and couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And that sucked, right? And like this stuff happens.
Sure.
I really felt bad for the CBR folks because for their session, they're just like, well, what do you guys want to talk about? I was like, oh.
I still had to do the show. Yeah, that's
Right.
funny.
Yeah. So, and then just like the general con annoyances of full sessions, extreme overcrowding on Saturday,
Yeah.
which was exacerbated by the ugly.
Oh.
And this is where you may want to cut this for negativity later. This is too
Fair.
negative. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Seattle Convention Center is the worst convention experience in the country anywhere for any reason. I've been to all sorts of conventions, professional conventions, hobby conventions, comic, whatever.
Yeah.
All over the place. New York, Anaheim, Denver, Chicago, San Antonio. Nothing compares to the horrific logistics involved with the Seattle Convention Center.
Yes. Yes, because I remember I've been to this convention center for at least 3 different shows, and every time it's just like they really want to take advantage of the multiple levels, but also something would be happening here, and then something else would be happening in another building.
Yeah. So I don't think you've been here since before the pandemic, right?
Yeah, no, we have not been here.
So the way they used to run it was you had the Seattle Convention Center, which spans a street, and there's a sky bridge that goes between them.
Yes, okay. Yes.
And sometimes the sky bridge is hard to find.
Yes, it is.
But okay, so that's that. And then last time I was there, the overflow stuff was happening in the Sheraton, which is right next door.
Yes, that's right.
Which was actually really nice because they did a lot of like the board game stuff and the video game stuff over in the Sheraton.
Right.
It worked really well, I thought.
Okay.
Mostly. Huh. So since then, they've done a major expansion to the Seattle Convention Center. And the expansion was a brand new building 3 blocks away.
Oh,
so now the convention center is split between 2 buildings 3 blocks away from each other.
No, that is death. You know how I know that's death? Because at San Diego Comic-Con last year, I had a panel outside the convention across the street. You know how many people come to those?
None.
Fewer. No, people came. But fewer than would have if it was in the building.
Right. But so all of this, what this means, the practical effect of this is that if you're on the 4th floor over here and you want to get something else on the 4th, it's 15 minutes.
Yep.
It was 15 minutes on Thursday when no one was there. On Saturday, it was 20 plus. Because then the sidewalks are just choked with people trying to get between the 2 buildings all day.
All the time. Because it's like there's always something happening. So, yeah.
And if it were the case where they could like shut the street down so that you could, but no, because the road that runs between them is the main entrance to get onto the freeway.
Oh, no. Cool.
What a clusterfuck.
Yeah. Now,
and just
has this been going on since how long has this been in business, basically?
I think they opened it in 23 or 24. There's only been a couple of years.
A couple of years of this nonsense. Has there been any addressing from anybody? Like, where like, we know it sucks. I mean, they built it, right? It's like, that's it. It's built. It's not that I can do.
Yeah, I don't know. And so this time the way they had it was like all the vendors and small stage stuff and community events were over there. And then badge pickup, main stage, and signings were on the other side with a little bit of a vendor area.
Sure.
But if you wanted to go to a panel and go to a main stage event and go to another panel, like,
you're losing an hour
easily. Yeah. And so what really negatively impacted my Saturday was that after the main stage event I attended, which we'll talk about next, taking 20 minutes to get to the other building to catch the next like industry panel I wanted to hit, it was full.
Oh yeah. That's the other thing. It doesn't even forget about just trying to get to it. But then when you get there, you're late and it's over, or you can't make it. They won't let you in. Yeah.
Right. And then someone like, oh, crap. Okay, what's this? What's this? What's second on my list? Okay, well, that's upstairs. I go upstairs. Oh, we're full. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So, so then I went to go visit a friend of mine who was working in the cosplay area doing like cosplay repairs.
Yeah.
I went to go see him just for a minute. I'm like, oh man, this sucks. And the people who were running the table at the front, they're like, hey, can I help you? I'm like, yeah, here, I just want to see I'm saying hi to my buddy, like, oh, he's busy. You can't talk to him. I'm like, I'm going home now.
That's enough. I'm leaving.
No,
That's
then I
fair.
traversed again to go back to see whatever main stage event was going on. It was an interview with Jamie Campbell.
Okay.
Who's like been in like Stranger Things season 4 and 5. He played a big character there. Anyway, that was very entertaining. Ashley Robinson was hosting, and
Yep.
it was cute. Are you trying to pull up the guy's name now?
It is Jamie Campbell. You got it. Yeah, he's the bad guy.
Yeah. I haven't caught up on Stranger Things 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So anyway, it doesn't matter. But he was lovely and hilarious, and the cute thing about that is there are all these like teen girls who get up to the mic, and like there were at least 4 or 5 professations of love to him. I love you. It was so cute, and he was so gracious and so funny and so just lovely.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
nice.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
And then I left because I had one of my kids had a ultimate frisbee game, and I'm like, all right, I've had my fill.
Right.
I've not seen like 5 things today because I can't get to them. I'm done.
Yeah.
And went home, and that was fine. That was the right choice. I had my fill.
That's fair. I've definitely been there. I've gone to many conventions. One of them was the Denver one, where like I've done the show, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Yeah. Like, there's nothing for me here anymore.
Right.
There's actually a rule that my my buddy Josh has, and he's a big wheel down at the Cracker Factory. Like, it's not just that he like does these like he's a big name in the comic book industry.
Yeah.
But and the reason why I mention that is only because like you would assume if you are a big a luminary of the industry that like you go from sun up to sundown. You're there from like the day before to the day after. Josh considers a convention successful when he is in his pajamas in his house and the convention is still going on. Like if he gets a text message from a colleague saying, "Where are you, dude? I need to meet up with you real quick." And he's like, "I am in another state in my house." Then he has successfully had a great show. And I got to tell you, I've had that show and it feels amazing. He's completely right about that. I'm walking 20 to 50,000 steps a day.
Right.
I am exhausted.
Yeah.
And I am walking through clouds of disease.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, that's rough. That's fair. I hear you. So that's the ugly.
But anyway,
it's just that
so that was the ugly.
Center sucks.
The convention center logistics were horrific.
Yeah.
And like I was talking to the book guy.
Yes.
Design Studio Press.
Right.
And he said that they kept like shuffling them around, like even up to load-in time.
Oof. Yeah, they do that.
We're like, oh no, you're going to be here. You're going to be there. You're going to be there. And then he goes, and suddenly they put us in here, but there's like 50 booths up here and there's nothing else going on here until Saturday when people show up for signings. He goes, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So he was like really worried that this, like the trip wasn't going to be worth it for him. And I'm sure everyone in that area felt the same, right? Because, well, thanks.
Yeah, no, dude, that is a thing that happens, and it's not limited to Emerald City or Repop,
no, of course not.
But it does happen, and it does happen.
And like I said, I just think it was really exacerbated by just the layout of the Seattle Convention Center itself, and just being like not really. This is part of Seattle's growing pains, right? Like when I moved here 11 years ago. My God, has it been that long?
Things have certainly changed around here.
That's right. Old Man Peabody.
On all of this. Anyway,
A strange idea about breeding pine
pine
trees. Anyway, Seattle was 500,000 people, 600,000 people, maybe. 11 years on, Seattle proper is like 900,000 people. That's a huge amount of growth in
that
years.
short amount of time. Yeah, big time.
And that's only Seattle proper. That doesn't even talk about the whole Puget Sound region growing as well, right? And so the Washington State Convention Center, as it was known before the renovation, was perfectly adequate for a city of 500,000 people.
Right.
Right. But all of a sudden you need to double that. But you're geographically constrained.
Right, but you're in a city. There ain't no, I can't build no more.
You can't build no more. And when they built this thing in like the 70s, they made the genius idea of like kind of like having it's there, but it also extends over the freeway. Which is kind of cool, except then it also like screws the highway because you can't add another lane through the city because the convention center's in the way.
Right. Yeah. So you actually screwing yourself twice. It's Dutch door action.
Oh, totally.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I get that there's a lot of really hard constraints, but it's just like endemic of like Seattle trying to figure itself out as going from like a medium large city to kind of a big city, right?
Yeah.
Of 1 million plus people. And again, the surrounding region as well has really swelled in population. So anyway,
sure.
I'm not trying to like shit on people about it. But it just leads to a terrible experience for everyone.
Yes, there needs to be like full on damage control meetings. Like, why are we going to mitigate this problem? It's never like this is where we're stuck. Now how do we deal with it? Because there's nothing else we can do.
Right. Like the compromise they landed on, the reason this is 2.5 or 3 blocks away is because it was a giant like a parking lot or depot that the city already owned.
Right.
And so they built there. What they should have done is they should have torn down the existing building, which is too bad because it's actually a really beautiful piece of like brutalist architecture. Like it's cool. Like the main hall area with like the thing and Freeway Park with it's cool.
Yeah.
But they should have torn it down and just built something that was like 7 or 8 stories high.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway.
Oh, well.
All right. The headliner for this show was William Shatner.
That's awesome.
Which is honestly the only reason I went on Saturday. Was to go see Shatner. Because I've never seen him live. The man is 94 years old.
Yes.
I wish him an even longer life, but statistically speaking, if I want to see the man speak live,
this is it.
Probably. Maybe next year or the next year or the next year. But every year we go on, right? Just
every year you go on, he's going to get more. At the very least,
older.
It's just he's getting older. Even if he lives to be 115, at 96, it might be exhausting to do this.
Right.
He might just not want to do it.
Right. Yeah. At some point, he's going to retire from doing it. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, but all right. So we had 53 minutes of story time with Grandpa Bill.
Yep. Oh, nice.
Which it was fine. It was fun. He was telling stories about whatever. He was doing a lot of plugging of his albums, which is funny.
Really?
Yeah, he was like,
there's not any new ones though, right? It's all the same stuff.
Oh no. Oh Sal. Oh no, he's coming out. I think there's like a 5-album set that's coming out now, and it's like all this like poetry about his life, and there's a companion book that's all the lyrics, the poetical lyrics in the book, so you can read the poetry along with the album as he's singing it.
Okay. Is that do you have it?
No. Well, no. And then he said he's doing a heavy metal album.
I think I heard about this. I haven't heard anything outside of I've heard he wants to do that.
Right. And he said, at first, I didn't know what the hell heavy metal was. I said, what is this? I don't know. I was told I did a blues album like years ago. It took me a month to learn what the blues was. I'm like,
what?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, old man?
Yeah. What?
But then I learned for heavy metal, you have to be angry. I said, I can do that. I'm angry about getting old. I'm angry about what we're doing to the planet. I'm angry. I'm like, all right, cool.
So we're gonna hear you sing
We're gonna
metal
be
songs about the environment and aging.
about literally an old man yelling at the clouds. Yeah. I don't know. I think it might work.
I mean, it'll be a hell of a send-off.
Here's the thing. If you are 94 years old and still engaging in constant creative output,
yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to shit on you for it.
No, it's true.
I mean, good for him.
Well, and he's gonna have to like find new avenues to explore, right? Like it's not just like, well, I can't just do the same thing all the time.
Right. Which again, good for him, right? I think that's why he's been a successful actor with a career that spans 70 years, because he's always doing a new thing, always a new spin, a new interpretation on whatever he's brought. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I think he had like a cold or something, so he kept like and he had like a little sniffle, so I think maybe he was only running like 90% for this thing. But have you ever seen Shatner?
I have never seen Shatner. I've been in the same building as Shatner because he's been to a lot of New York Comic Cons, and I don't have the same connection with him that like you or Ethan does. So like I've never thought, because when he was in when he was in his 80s, I was like, if I want to meet Bill Shatner, it should probably be now. Yeah, and I've never done it. I just like, and we talked about this on another show, but I was like, if I was gonna meet one of the members of the original cast, it was gonna be Nimoy, and I missed it. Yeah, so I'm good.
Fair. Anyway, so, you know, he did about 20-25 minutes of just, you know, random storytelling.
Okay.
And then we opened it up for questions.
Great.
Excellent. Here we go. And the really funny thing is he challenges people. Like if you get up there and ask a question, he'd be like, wait, what do you mean by that? Right. Or
I don't know,
or whatever, right? And it was interesting because like some people would like meet that challenge and like push back and be like, well, blah, 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 right? And he seemed to really enjoy that, like that pushback and that tension, right?
Okay.
Some people would just like wither.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, he challenged me. I don't like that. That's not what I'm here for.
He also seemed to enjoy that a little. So what I think though is that he just really enjoyed interacting with people, right? Which I think that was the takeaway. Not just like, oh, he seems to be enjoying like tearing this poor person to shreds. I don't think that's what it was. I think he was just enjoying the back and forth and the banter. So the best person that pushed back, he was asking Sharon like, oh, what's your favorite sci-fi fantasy movie that you've seen recently? And he's like, I don't really watch movies.
That's fair. It's like, I completely understand that, you know?
Right. He's like, I don't have a lot of time. I'm always doing stuff. But if I am going to watch a movie, I'm going to like try and catch like a classic that I've never seen.
Okay.
Right? Like something from the annals of cinema. Like, oh, that's fair. And then he goes, what's your favorite movie? And the guy goes, oh, that's easy. Star Wars. Which got a huge laugh.
Yeah.
And Shanna really appreciates. He's like, all right, I see what you did. You got me.
Oh, that's easy. Star Wars.
Which was amazing.
Yeah. That's great.
And then we had, oh my God. Then we had a guy who gets up there and he goes, yeah, yes, hello, my name is blah, blah, blah from wherever. And I've asked John Delancey this same question, and it wasn't a good response.
What?
And Shatner goes, that's a statement. Do you have a question?
Love it.
And then the guy goes, I forget what he said next, but blah, well, you did work on and whatever else. And Shatner's like, well, that's another statement. And also on I worked on what? And the guy took a deep breath and he said it again. And no one could understand what this man was saying. Damn. He was just like, he was, I guess, nervous and just like rushing, mumbling through. Right. Turns out he was talking about Shatner's work on My Little Pony.
What?
Apparently, Shatner did like a voiceover spot on an episode of My Little Pony in 2017.
Okay.
So finally, we get to the point where we understand what we're all talking about.
Right.
And he's like, well, and the guy kept mentioning like John Delancey, right? And Shatner's like, wait, sorry, do you have a question, or do we just want to talk about my good friend John Delancey? Because we can, but I need a question.
Right. That's awesome.
So the guy just takes another deep breath and like, yes, when you worked on My Little Pony, what was that experience like? And was it gratifying? Was the fan response gratifying?
What?
And Shatner's like, fuck, My Little Pony. When did I do this? And the audience is like, 2017. He's like, and he's sitting there, he's like, I'm sorry, I have no recollection of doing this. I have no recollection of working on My Little Pony. I'm very sorry. Next question.
I mean, the reality is, like, if he only did like one spot and it's a voiceover, right? It's not like they had My Little Pony paraphernalia surrounding him, or like they gave him a t-shirt. It was just, he came, there's so, you know, that's like asking Rob Paulson his favorite voiceover, like guest spot in the last like 35 years. Like, I don't know, man. I
don't know. I came in, they paid me $1,000 and I read 3 lines. Like, and I went home.
Exactly.
I did it between my morning coffee and my lunch date. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So I felt bad for the guy because he was clearly nervous and had a hard time getting out.
Yes.
But he was just like withering under
the scrutiny of Shatner. Yeah, he was just like
under Sauron's gaze.
It's like, oh, you're here, buddy. You friggin' walked up to the mic. What do you want from me, man? Like, you should.
And just that's another statement.
That's another statement. He, I gotta give it up for him. Like, when I see him in like, an interview process or something like that, and I know it's like, he's got makeup on and he's, it's very curated. But the reality is he's 94. Like, you and I grew up in a time when like people in their 60s were like, holy shit, that bag of bones is about to fall over and die right there in the grocery store.
Right.
But like 94, and he's going to conventions, he's, emceeing, he's pretty good. He's in pretty good shape.
He is. Yeah. And he really, he talked about that too, about how he just treasures that connection with the audience.
Yeah.
And I think that's likely one of the things that keeps him going.
Definitely.
Honestly.
Yeah. It's just being like, hey, I'm still here. Yeah. I'm still with it. It's like, yeah. It's just nice.
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as 94. Like you hear it and you're like, yeah, that tracks. But also, but I saw him give like a talk the other day, and he has the energy of a person like in his 70s.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
interesting. Well, that's great. I'm glad that you got the chance to see. Had you ever seen him before this?
No, this is my first time.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, there were 2 other questions that were very fun that I could relate. You can obviously cut any of this. I don't.
Sure, of course.
All right. Anyway, this gal got up and she asked about like I forget what show it was, but about having a lot of moxie, about like getting up and keep doing it again, right?
Sure.
Even when something doesn't fail. But the first he goes, wait, what is moxie?
What? Oh, come on, Bill.
and she's like, what? And he's like, no, you use the word. Like, just what do you mean by that? Because I think it was like that's a very old word, right? About like a boxer. Oh, the kid's got a lot of moxie. He gets in the ring and he.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And she's like, well, just the ability to get up and like keep going even when something goes bad. Where he's like, and then she's like explaining around. He's like, okay, no, I get it. Okay, I know what question to answer now, right? Like, okay,
right.
And then he answered the question about like, how he goes, for an actor, success is not the norm.
Right.
If you make 5 movies and one of them does well, you're doing pretty good.
That's a fair point. I like that.
He's like, we don't do this because of the success.
Right.
We do this because we love it. And if you're very lucky, you're successful.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great. And like,
I love
the subtext there, for him, which he didn't say, but he could have easily said was like, I have been extraordinarily lucky in my career.
Yes.
Right.
Is there a rookie mistake that you made this weekend that you would warn another kind of like layman or relative newcomer to avoid?
A rookie mistake.
Yeah. Because it's been such a, like, we've done so many shows. Certainly I have done so many shows.
Right.
It's like, I don't even think about it anymore.
Right. Yeah. And like just the things I do for like other professional conferences are I did for this, the prep, right? Which is go through the session lists and mark out the ones you want, print it out, highlight it if that's available. This was not, which actually this also annoyed me, and that you go to the website and there's no grid view of the schedule on the website. It's only through the app. Drove me nuts.
Yep.
Maybe that's because I'm an old person, but sometimes just having that hard copy is really handy because sometimes signal is really shitty for no apparent reason.
Yup. Oh yeah. Count on that.
Count on that. So actually what I did was I had a piece of paper and I said 11 a.m. this room, 1:15 this room, laid out a schedule for myself. So that's not a rookie mistake I made, but that's maybe some advice for rookies, right?
Definitely. No, yeah, I think that's essential.
If you're at a venue like the Seattle Convention Center, this is the rookie mistake I made. And it says 4th floor. Figure out what freaking building it is, because the schedule sure didn't tell you.
You're like, what the hell? I'm on floor 4, and I'm in the wrong building.
I am in the wrong building. Yeah. So that was my rookie mistake this time.
That's fair.
There you go.
Yeah. And also, by the way, if you have gone to like 1 or a dozen conventions, you will still make a rookie mistake. I find I always do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, pack a water bottle if you can.
Bring your own water.
Every place now has like water fill stations. Just stick your water bottle in because you get dehydrated because you're talking, you're walking, you're sweating with everyone else.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
Yep.
That's a big one. Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And a lot of conventions
deodorant, throw it in your bag.
I packed a lunch the second day, but not the first day. Just like, just get something on the floor or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? The lunch I made for myself on Saturday was better than what I got for like $12.
Yep.
Right. So
at every convention, it's like 20 plus for like a bao bun.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, if you can, and I realize if you're traveling a distance, right, if you're flying into a city, that can be really hard.
Yeah.
To pack in your own food.
Totally.
But if you're going to a local show, might be worth it.
Yeah.
You know, I was 45 minutes door to door, which is pretty good.
That's
leaving my
really
house,
good.
driving to the light rail down, walking a couple blocks from 45 minutes. So that felt pretty good and very manageable.
Yeah, damn right.
Which is also the advantage of a medium-ish size city, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, make the schedule, pack in some water. If you can, map it out ahead of time so you at least have an idea of where you're supposed to be going.
Yes.
And those 3 simple things, I think, can really
improve.
Just take a lot of that low-level anxiety and like, what do I do? It's like, I know what to do because I planned ahead and I'm going here.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I love that we've like turned this into just like a kind of like con roundup where it's like, here's what you learned. Here's the experiences you had. I think a lot of people are going to be able to take away some like real great creative lessons from it. And I think that's the point of it, right? Is like, you know, learn from my experiences and maybe, you know, apply them to your own. That's all we can hope for, you know?
Right. Totally.
That's great. Well, anything else coming out that we should expect from you in the next bit? Or is there, you know, just we'll wait for you for the next No Comic Required?
Well, it depends. How long is a bit?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know.
if a bit is like, you know, 4 to 6 weeks,
keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out. Maybe watch this space for maybe another appearance of No Comic Required. I don't know. That's up to Sal to schedule those.
Yep.
But should we drop it here, Sal?
Oh, sure. Why not? Oh, I mean, I feel it may be preemptive, but I should say
premature.
Yeah, I think it may be premature, but let's just say I would love to see you make more of your own content, and hopefully we will see that in the near future.
Okay. Yes.
And if we do, you'll see us promoting it in some
That's right.
significant way.
Excellent.
But thank you for being here, man. Thank you for sharing this idea. All Jason's idea. He was like, hey, can we hop on a mic and just do this? And I'm like, what? Yes, absolutely. Of course we can.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I just had so many ideas and thoughts about what I had experienced, and no, Sal, you're my platform. I have no, no audience outside.
Right. Like I already told my wife, and that was kind of it.
Yep.
She was hardly impressed. That's excellent, man. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you, as always, to everybody for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.